Hey, this is Aniela, and if you're nasty, and you're watching my vlog. Okay, so where do I even begin? Every year, I gift myself a birthday gift. Usually, it's something like way before my birthday, just because like it keeps me kind of like excited about my birthday throughout the month of May. And this year, my most anticipated like theme park opened the day before my birthday. But honestly, the idea of going to said theme park on my 30th birthday, like, it's iconic because it's like I'm doing something cool for my 30th birthday, something that I could say I was a part of history, even though everything that's been happening lately in like this day's society is like part of history. Feel sorry for the kids in the future that have to write DBQs on this, but something fun that's gonna make history. And that, my dear friends, is Epic Universe. On Wednesday, April 30th, I got an email saying that they have released preview tickets for the general public, and I was freaking out. I was texting my boyfriend. I was like, hello, rent's paid, everything's paid, like I have extra money, let's go, should we go? Stop me, I'm about to purchase these tickets. Also, if you hear like random noise, I'm so sorry. There's people like riding their ATVs and stuff over here. I was like, hey, like, you better stop me before I buy these tickets. And he's like, who am I to stop you? And I'm like, exactly, that's what I like to hear. I have been waiting for this theme park to open since they announced that they were bringing Super Nintendo World to Universal, and people were trying to figure out where it would go. They were saying that they were going to close down Kid Zone in Universal to put it there. When in the end it ended up being DreamWorks Land, which I still haven't seen, but I really want to go see because I want a Shrek. And I've been like just following it since, and I've been following since like they announced that. I was still living in Miami when all of this happened, and I was just like freaking out because I was like, this is gonna be so cool. I was super excited for Super Nintendo World because basically I was keeping up with like what they were doing in Japan, a Donkey Kong ride. And like I remember like looking at the patents and stuff and like following it. I was just like, oh my god, this is gonna be the coolest ride ever. To say I was excited was an understatement. Like, I honestly can't even put to words how like ready I was. I was counting down. I bought it Wednesday and yesterday was Saturday. I was counting down like the seconds, for real. I was like, I need to be there right now. And I will say this, honestly, Epic Universe has become like easily in like my top 3 like favorite theme parks that I've been to. I know it's still in preview stages right now, and I took that into consideration. If you do go during preview days and like in the first year that it opens, I need you guys to like remember this is a brand new park. It's a baby. It's not gonna be like Magic Kingdom where it's been here for like 50 years. It's not gonna be like Universal that's been here for like, well, Universal could use some upgrades, but it's not like it's, I would say Magic Kingdom. Let's put it, compare it to Magic. That being said, honestly, I feel like I had such an incredibly positive experience at Epic Universe that I don't think like even if I were to go again and have a bad time there, I don't think I will remove it from like my top 3 favorite theme parks that I've been to. So with that said, let's get into it. So parking is a parking lot. It's like parking, a parking garage is better just because as somebody who is from Florida, has lived in Florida her whole life, your cars get insanely hot and it's disgusting. And that was one thing I liked about going to Universal. Like, you would park in the parking garage and your car will stay nice and cool when you get back to the car. There's something really cool about this parking lot right now, because again, this is still the preview stage of Epic Universe. I'm sure they'll have the stuff ready, but there's this one section of the parking lot that has solar panels, and it's like it covers several like spots, and it's multiple ones. And I honestly think that's so genius, because like we are not called the Sunshine State for nothing. So I just think that's so cool. Like they're collecting energy and it's gonna go into the park, and it also is keeping your car cool, because like you can park cars under it. Honestly, I think that's really smart of them to do. Iconic. I highly recommend, before you go to the park, you think about like the top 3 things that you want to do. I said I don't care what we do as long as I do Monsters Unleashed. Okay, like that's the number one thing I want to do. Then meet Toothless, then meet Toad. The rest of the park, if I get the chance to ride it or do anything, I'll do it. Which, by the way, I did most of it. Like, it wasn't that bad. Honestly, everyone's game plan is kind of different for this park. I know the early entry people, the only park that tends to be open is Super Nintendo World. And honestly, even when I went through the ticketing booth and stuff, when they scanned my ticket, all the employees were telling me, oh, you should go to Super Nintendo first, or you should go to Universal Monsters, right? Dark Universe, and like ride Monsters Unleashed. But me, being that person who sees and hears that everyone's been rushing through Super Nintendo World, I didn't want to do that. So I went ahead and told my boyfriend, hey, let's do the park counterclockwise, because I know that if we try to do clockwise, we're going to be following the crowd, and it's just going to be a lot to deal with. So the first thing we did, we walked into the park. We walked through the portal. I was shaking. I was so happy and excited to finally be in this and like get to experience the Celestial Park. Honestly, I know like people are not taking it into consideration as like its own area, but Celestial Park, once those trees grow in, I think it's gonna be the most beautiful like area of the entire park. From what I heard, people were like, oh, it's just so hot, there's no shade. I'm like, I'm bringing my umbrella. Whether it rains or not, like I'm gonna be using my umbrella. Honestly, I only used my umbrella yesterday to make the line for Toothless. As a whole, I love that a majority of their lines are under like some sort of shelter. There's shade in the lines, and in those like shaded areas there's fans, and those fans are huge and they're on. I can greatly appreciate Universal for doing that. So yeah, the first thing we did, I was like, you know what, I want to go to Owls of Berk. I wanted to go see that first. And I don't know, I feel like walking through that portal, I don't want to say my breath was taken away, but my breath was taken away, because I've been following this thing for the longest, and to finally see it like in person, so good. I knew it was gonna be like one of my favorite lands, and honestly, my most highly anticipated land was Dark Universe, but I think Owls of Berk is my favorite land overall. Theme, food, rides, everything. I was like, hey, look, Hiccup's wing gliders isn't that long. It's like, I think it said it was like 65 minutes. And I went into this park already anticipating long lines. So I just accepted my fate. I was like, you know what, let's just get it out of the way. I kind of want to do it. To be honest, all the lines that I rode yesterday always had a longer wait time listed than it actually was. So for Hiccup's wing gliders, it said it was 65 when I got into the line, and I did the line, rode the ride, got my stuff out of the locker, came back out, and it was 50 minutes, which was, to me, is not bad. Again, I'm kind of used to like waiting these long lines. I expected like 2-hour lines anyways, since it was a Saturday and they just opened previews for everyone. I was kind of happy that I was kind of getting lied to in a good way. So then after the ride, I was like, hey, I want to try the cones, and I didn't know which one I wanted to get. I told my boyfriend pick, and he got the PB&J one because he said that one sounds like the best. And honestly, it really was the move. It's so good, but it's so filling. I don't know if it's because of the bread, but like it's just so filling. It's definitely something that like if I were to eat that on my own, I probably wouldn't eat for the rest of the day until like really late at night. And then after that, I was like, I kind of want to do the untrainable dragon, but it wouldn't start for like another 30 minutes, and I kind of didn't just want to sit around. So we went, and I was like, you know what? Let's just try to meet Toothless. Like, I don't care how long the wait is. He's one of the things I want to do, so let's go meet him. It said that the wait time was 120. And I was like, you know what? To be fair, my brain processed it. I don't know why. Instead of 2 hours, my brain was like, oh, it's only 1 hour and 20 minutes that I have to wait. Like, either way, I made the line. My brain processed as that 120 minute as like 1 hour and 20 minutes. And I thought about it and I was like, oh, it says 2 hours. But I noticed that the line was moving fast. So I was like, I'm not going to be too mad about it. So I'm there with my umbrella talking to my boyfriend, when out of nowhere I hear a screeching noise. I'm kidding. But I see everyone like just freaking out saying, oh my God, that's Ariana Grande's brother. That's Ariana Grande's brother. I'm like, girl, what's going on? And lo and behold, Frankie Grande was meeting Toothless like right in front of me. And I'm like, how funny that I am in the same vicinity as this man again. He photobombed a couple of my photos way back when during Playlist Live at Magic Kingdom. So yeah, how funny that we're in the same area again. Whatever. So yeah, I waited the line, and honestly I was so excited to meet him because he's the cutest little thing, and I was crying, shaking, throwing up. So for those of you that didn't know, at Universal Studios, when you go to guest services, you can get birthday pins. You can get those for free. Just go to guest services, you're like, hey, can I get this button? And then they'll ask you what your name is, and they'll write down your name. Or if you're looking at like first visit button or like celebrating button. Cool thing about guest services at Epic Universe, there's one at the entrance, and then there's one next to like every portal. Back to Toothless. I was like up next in line to like go meet Toothless, and then like the team member was like telling me like, oh, I've seen so many birthday pins, this and that. And I was like, well, actually I'm here now because the park actually opens the day before my real birthday, you know, my actual birthday. And honestly, I'm just too scared to come on my birthday. And he's like, so what you're saying is lying? I'm like, no, because this is a birthday gift for myself. And he's like, no, I'm just messing with you. So yeah, I got to meet Toothless, and honestly, it was the most amazing moment in my entire life. I love him. He's so cute. Hiccup actor, spot on, so good. Like, I love it. And honestly, the thing about doing these character meeting greets, I'm always so like, I think it's the social anxiety, I don't know, but every time I'm like in line for one of these things, I'm like, ugh, I don't know what to say or do, like, and I feel kind of just like weird just being like, okay, I just want a photo. But the Hiccup character, like, he actually made the conversation like really good, and it was like the meet and greet with Toothless is super interactive. You do your whole little like slowly pet him, make sure you pet him on the nose. It was super cute and probably annoying, but that's something I would love to do every time I go to Epic Universe. It's definitely something I recommend like making time for. Not necessarily set it as a priority, but I would set it as a priority like I did. That's something, I don't know, I honestly believe like that whole interaction and like the animatronic and stuff, it's just so cool. And I don't know what I was expecting in terms of like the texture of Toothless. It feels like a thick rubber, so a lot better than I thought. I thought he was gonna be like, I don't know if you've seen like animatronics with like their skin falling apart and stuff, and like the skin's very thin. I was concerned that I was gonna feel more like of the metal stuff. I don't know, I feel like that would have totally killed like the experience. Especially like I think about it for like kids, like they probably wouldn't like, Mom, that feels weird. Oh my God, it's kind of like those triceratops that they used to have at Universal. But those triceratops scared me as a kid. Touch it and I was like, no thank you, that's scary. But Toothless, no. As a kid, if I were a kid trying to meet Toothless, like, it would be like amazing. Definitely a good experience with that one. And then after we met Toothless, I was like, you know what, I think we can eat. We can definitely. I didn't want to go to Fantastic Beasts yet, just in case I did get the virtual queue stuff. I didn't want to get the Fantastic Beast stuff yet. So we're like, hey, like, we really want to try the Pizza Moon. I wanted to go inside Pizza Moon because I've seen photos of it and I think it's so whimsical and beautiful and magical. And like, I was like, I need to go in there. I don't care if we don't eat. I just really want to go in there and see it. And there was the line to get in. I wasn't expecting that, but it went, like, at first I was just confused as to why we were just standing here like outside and nobody was like going in, and then eventually we went in and that line moved pretty quick. What I haven't seen anybody talk about in terms of like dining is that in my mind I was thinking like, oh, we go to a cash register, order what we want, grab our stuff and sit down. No, at these places they go in on the efficiency of the dining at Epic Universe. I don't know if it's just because it's previews, but like, it's so good. So they have a bunch of at least in Pizza Moon and at Toadstool Cafe. At Pizza Moon, they have like a ton of employees working, and like they have like this like number system thing that they do with their hands. Like they're like, oh, 2. They hold it up until somebody tells them, oh, this table's open. What nobody told me is that on the tables is the QR codes for like the menus, and if you have the app, like, just scan it on your phone and your app will open and you can order the food there. Or if you already have the app, go to the restaurant, click what you want to order, and then you type in the number that's on the table, and then somebody will bring it out to you. Like, you'll get text message saying, hey, it's being prepared, hey, it's on the way, hey, it's complete or whatnot. Which honestly, so efficient, so good. Like, compared to like my experience at Disney lately with like mobile ordering and stuff, it's so annoying because when I go to Disney and I go to one of these places like to sit down or stuff, like it's always a mission. It's always a mission. I'm always fighting for a table. Like, it's always like the party's like, hey, like, we gotta go here. Okay, I'm gonna go make this line, you go look for a table. Where like at Universal, you're waiting and like they're like, here, get them in, out, this and that. Everyone's clean, efficient. It's just, that's honestly all I could ask for in an experience. Like, all I can ask for at a park experience. Efficiency. Like, iconic. So yeah, we had what's supposed to be like the Hawaiian pizza there. So good. So good. Like, my boyfriend said it's pork belly that's on it. It's so good. Like, I don't know. I think about it and I'm like, it was $18.99 for like the pizzas, and honestly, it was worth it. Just the taste alone of those pizzas, it's worth it. But that pizza, it wasn't like the biggest pizza, but it was so filling. And that's one thing about this park. The food is so filling that like we barely like got to eat many things. Saying like, gotta go like with the munchies or something. In the time that we're eating the pizza, we finished our pizza, but we're sitting there because we had like 5 minutes to 3 o'clock to try to get the stupid virtual queue for the battle at the Ministry for the Wizarding World area, the Fantastic Beasts area. For what? And I'm like looking around and I see everyone's on their phone, like locked in. My boyfriend's locked in and we're trying to get it. And like before the time, I was telling my friend, like, oh my god, I'm so scared that I'm gonna cause a scene. He's like, you better not cause a scene. I'm scared. I'm gonna start screaming and be like, yes, I got it. And he's like, do not cause a scene. Do not embarrass me. And I'm like, I'm gonna try not to. So I'm there, like, we're both there on our phone. The girl next to me is trying to do it with her friend. The lady next to me is trying to do it. I heard somebody from across the way being like, yes, I got it. And I'm there like, and I did not get it. So from there, because we're right next to Super Nintendo World, we went into Super Nintendo World. You know what? I think it was when I entered Super Nintendo World when I noticed that a lot of this park and rides has so many steps. It's mostly staircases. I think the only ride that I did yesterday that didn't have stairs was Curse of the Werewolf. That one's like slope. Everything was stairs. Most of Super Nintendo World is stairs. It's steps. Like, you gotta go up and down these steps. But the good thing about it is that there's elevators for, you know, people with disabilities, or if you don't want to go down the stairs. But I want you to keep that in mind, because that's also something nobody was like talking about in like any of the videos I've seen about Epic Universe. Nobody's ever talked about that. It's a lot of stairs in the land of Super Nintendo World and on the rides. Thinking about it, I was like, I know for Mario Kart we had to go up and down the stairs. It's on the second floor. But in the actual ride itself, you're going up and down stairs. For Yoshi's Adventure, it's on the first floor, so you gotta go down the stairs. And then when you go in, you gotta go up the swirling stairs to hop onto the Yoshi. And as for Donkey Kong, I didn't get to ride it because it was delayed like the whole day. Every time I checked the app, it was delayed the whole day, and it didn't open until like 6 o'clock. And then when we went, we were like, oh, it has single riders. Maybe we should do single riders. But my boyfriend was like, I don't want to do that right now. And I'm like, okay, let's do Yoshi and then come back. And then when we did the Yoshi ride and came back, it said single riders was at capacity, and then the ride was like at 120. And I was like, no, I guess I'll just save that for next time. Yeah, and then I wanted to meet Toad. But for some reason on the app, Toad never had a time. I had asked an employee, like, hey, when's the next Toad meet and greet? And she's like, oh, let me check. And she said 5:10. And I was like, that's 40 minutes from now. So I kind of just took the L, and I was like, let's just go on to Dark Universe, because that's my highly anticipated area. I wanted to go. But before we went to Dark Universe, I did Mario Kart. My boyfriend was super excited for this. He said he was super excited for Super Nintendo World, like that was his most anticipated land. But he was kind of disappointed by it. I feel, because like I've seen so many videos and so many things about it, like because of Japan and Hollywood Super Nintendo World, that I was just kind of like, I'm excited to see it in person, but is it like the one that I'm like dying to go to? No. I will say we decided to do single riders for Mario Kart, because baby girl, if we can do single riders and avoid any time, like, we're gonna do it. Even though the time was like, I think 15 minutes, I was like, no, let's just do single riders. I want to do more things. I feel like that ride is just so overstimulating, overwhelming. Like, I did good, I'm not gonna lie. In my group, I rode with like 2 other ladies, and the seat next to me wasn't working, so they sat me there, and like I was popping off. I was the one that did the best in my group. But the thing is, like, I don't know, I just feel like those visor glasses thing just take away so much from the actual set of the ride. Like, I'm so about like animatronics on the ride, and like the physical stuff on the ride, the physical set. But I feel like the actual visor part of the ride is just so distracting, because there's just so much happening. There's so much happening on that ride. But like I'm like, I see Bowser, I see all his little Koopa troops, and I have to shoot them. I have to shoot them, and that's why I did the best in my group. But yeah, it was just kind of distracting, and I was telling my boyfriend, I'm like, oh, it was a little too much. I feel like I couldn't focus on anything. But it was fun. It's definitely something I would like to ride with a group of friends, like, and like just be super competitive with. Yeah, so, but that's just my opinion or whatever. I feel like it was just a little too much, but it was also kind of like whatever for me, just because, again, I've seen videos about it and stuff. And meanwhile, every other ride that's in the park, I went in blind. I did not want to see like anything, like point of views of anything going back quickly to Hiccup's wing gliders, the little animatronic of Hiccup didn't move much. Again, we're in preview, so I don't expect like everything to be working 100%, but I'm pretty sure the animatronic of Toothless on the ride is kind of like the same one that's at the meet and greet. Hiccup's wing glider is such a cute roller coaster. I recommend everybody ride that one too. Like, I don't think it's the number one priority, but I don't think it's a skippable like ride. So whereas Mario Kart, I say do it with friends, and then Yoshi's Adventure, I heard it moves super slow, so we didn't do it until later on in the day. I told my boyfriend, I'm like, when the sun is like setting, that's when we're riding, because I'm not gonna be in Super Nintendo World with the sun beaming on me riding that thing, since I also heard that it's mostly outside. No thank you. That was for later in the day. And I kept checking to see if Donkey Kong was delayed, and it was. I was like, okay, let's go to Dark Universe. And I'm just so happy that Universal is doing what they're good at, that they're paying attention to things that they're actually like the best in, which is the horror stuff. Like, I walked through and I was telling my boyfriend, I'm like, I feel like I'm back at Halloween Horror Nights, and like I'm going through one of the maze scare zones or whatever, but like it's okay, because scare zones, you could tell they're like temporary setups, so like this is like a permanent setup, and like it's also fun. When you first walk in through the portal to the right, there's like a coffin thing, and it kind of reminded me of like put a photo here, like they had a coffin at, I think, the Horror Nights tribute store or something like that one year at Halloween Horror Nights. And like then we kept going through and everything's just so like black. It's just black and gray. That's all it is. And I was just like, yes, I'm thriving. And then I saw the manor, the Frankenstein manor for Monsters Unleashed, and I was just like shaking. I wanted to start screaming. I didn't, but I wanted to start screaming because I was like, I can't believe I'm here. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing like the electric currents and all this stuff. It was so good. So good. This one's another ride that has regular line, fast pass, and single riders. And I told my boyfriend, I'm like, do you want to do single riders on this one? It was a 75-minute wait. I don't mind waiting it, but if you want to ride this with me, we can do the regular line. If you don't care and you just want to get it over with, we'll do single riders. I don't mind. He's like, no, we'll do it together. We'll do the regular line. I'm like, okay, perfect, because again, this ride was my priority. This is my number one thing that I had to hit. I don't care about making the line. We went in and the queue was really cool. So you enter the manor, you go out into like, I guess, the garden courtyard thing or whatever, and you're under the roof shelter, and then you go through the line, and then you go back. It brings you right back to the front of the manor. And again, this is when I started to notice that like Epic Universe has a lot of stairs. I didn't see an elevator for that ride for Monsters Unleashed, but I'm pretty sure they have an elevator somewhere. You just have to talk to a team member. But I was just like, Jesus, what's with all these steps? It's a good thing I've been running, I've been going to the gym and doing all this stuff, but there's so many steps here. Yeah, I went through it, saw that incredible Frankenstein like figure that was just like, that was getting scanned. And then the animatronic in the queue was amazing. And then after you go through that queue thing, you put your stuff in a locker, which I totally forgot to talk about. No one told me how cool the whole locker system at Epic Universe is. The system, instead of like you like, I guess, doing the whole thumbprint thing, because from what I remember at Islands and Universal, the locker system, you put your fingerprint. Here it's a photo. You take a photo and it recognizes your face. And I think this is just like me being a crazy person, but I think that's so cool. It's so convenient, because there's nothing more than I hate than like when you're trying to put your like thumb on the thing and it's not scanning right. Personally, this was like my most anticipated ride. I was super excited to ride it, but I do feel a little bit, just a teensy bit disappointed in it, simply because I like the ride system for it. I think it's a lot better than the Harry Potter ride system for like the Forbidden Journey. It's definitely a lot better, a lot comfier. The only thing that I don't like is that we spent like a majority of the ride So this is like the ride system. We're like this on our backs. I didn't like that. And maybe that's just me being picky, but it was kind of like uncomfortable. I didn't mind getting tossed around and stuff. I just didn't like that like half the ride we're like you could be like this. We're like this. For like a majority of the ride. I didn't like that. But I did think that it was cool like how they put like it was mostly animatronics, which that makes up for like that uncomfortable like back thing that I don't like. It was mostly animatronics. And like I can't stand how like Universal's problem is all these like screen based rides. I love physical sets, and like a lot of rides these days are just like, oh, here's a screen, have fun. Like Spider-Man, this Amazing Spider-Man, I love that ride. I think that's like Islands of Adventure's like one of their greatest rides, and I'll let it slide. Okay, I'll let the screen slide because they have those physical props, you know. Maybe I feel like it just has to be with what it works for. Like I'm obsessed, going back to Disney, I'm obsessed with the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Like I think that ride is like a bazillion times better than Tron, no offense, but I'm aware that it's just screens, there's no physical sets, and that kind of bothers me. Monsters Unleashed has amazing animatronics and I love it. I'm obsessed with that. I like the physical sets. There is some screens on it, you know, you can't put everything as a physical set, I'm aware, and it's costly. I like that it has a lot of animatronics. For me, the only thing that bothered me for real was just like being like this like a majority of the time. I don't like it when I'm on the Haunted Mansion and you're going down into the graveyard like that. I'm not gonna like it on that ride. So, and the Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride, but I will say Monsters Unleashed is definitely one that you cannot like skip. That one I recommend to everyone. You need to ride that one. Just be mindful, you are gonna get tossed around. Like it's more aggressive than Forbidden Journey. After that, we rode the Curse of the Werewolf. It said it was a 35-minute ride wait time, so I was like, all right, let's go. On the way there, I was like, it smells like gas, it smells like something was burning. And then I saw the windmill and I was like, oh, it probably already happened. So then I was just like trying to record it like spinning, and then I saw that the fire was coming. I was like, oh no, hold on. So then I started recording that it was like catching on fire, which was pretty cool. I didn't hear the bells. Everyone was saying that you hear like bells or whatever right before it starts, and like I didn't hear anything. It was just me, I guess me smelling the gas was enough for me to know that like it was gonna catch on fire. We walked over to the Curse of the Werewolf. They said it was a 35-minute wait time, and girl, it was 15 minutes, and I was getting so nervous because the virtual queue for Harry Potter, they say it's at 11, 3, and 6, and I was like, I'm gonna miss this out. Either they need to slow down the line moving, or I need to get on this ride fast and off because I need to like try to get virtual queue for the Battle of the Ministry. Surprisingly, I said 35-minute wait. I legit walked in. We walked into the queue, no steps, walked into the queue, waited just a little bit, got on the ride, did the ride, got off, and I still had like 2 minutes to pull my phone out, play with the wait times. And also I think we did a good thing at like not making those two lands, like Super Nintendo World and Dark Universe, our top priority, even though like everyone will tell you like, oh, rush over there. And yeah, I didn't get the queue for Battle of the Ministry, and my boyfriend was super close to getting it, but nah, kind of took the L on that. So then after that, we went to Stardust Racers. When we were at Super Nintendo World, before we went to Dark Universe, we ate at Toadstool Cafe because I really wanted to try the tiramisu. It's again efficiency. I love the efficiency of this park. We went in, they sat us down, and it took us a little bit to get our stuff, but my boyfriend ordered the little mushroom garlic knots things. He ordered the bean pole dessert, and then I ordered the tiramisu, like the mystery box tiramisu. Both of those are so good. Then the little mushroom garlic bread things are good too. I'm just a huge fan of like carbs and tomato sauce, so I was gonna pop off with that. The tiramisu, I don't know what I was expecting. When I took a little spoonful of it, I looked at it and I was like, that looks weird, but okay, I want to eat it. It tastes like Publix tiramisu. I love it. It's so good. Even though it's like this big, it's so filling. I don't know how I was gonna finish it, but I managed to finish it. And my boyfriend tried it, and I tried his beanpole cake thing. It was really good. If you want desserts, I say get those. So once we failed to get the virtual queue for Battle of the Ministry, I checked to see how much Stardust Racers had for queue. I said 25 minutes. I was like, let's go. So we went. I should have known how intense the ride was gonna be, simply because the employer was like, hey, yeah, I recommend you taking off your birthday button too. I was like, ooh. And then they were like, oh, there's a delay because we're gonna add an extra cart. I'm like, okay, how long is a brief delay? That line moves fast. I think it's just because of how many people can be in that cart and line up, like, send that out. It was a lot of fun, that ride. If you like roller coasters, this one's like super intense. I was telling my boyfriend, I'm like, I could compare it to Iron Gwazi and Busch Gardens. He's like, no, Iron Gwazi was horrible. This one was so much fun. I'm like, yeah, it's so much fun, but this one's like just as intense. I was telling him that I honestly didn't like that it didn't have like the shoulder restraints. It does go over you, but it's just like on your lap. I think what made it scary was that I didn't have the shoulder restraint. I think that's why I was kind of scared of riding it. I would do it again. It's just very intense. I think that's our most intense roller coaster at the park. People have been comparing it to Velocicoaster. I still haven't gotten the chance to ride Velocicoaster, and I've been dying to go ride it, so I can't tell you where it is on that list. But if you've ridden, I think it's Cheetah Chase. If you've ridden Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens, it's like that but more intense. That's why I say it feels like Iron Gwazi to me. But yeah, it was crazy. It feels a little bit safer than Iron Gwazi. I'm gonna say that. Iron Gwazi, I felt like I was gonna slip through somehow. I didn't like that. Even though I did feel like on this ride at some point, not the whole ride, but at some point I felt like I was gonna slip through, and like I had my feet like curved in like this, holding into my seat, like no. But it was intense and it was fun. After that, we decided just to like go to Fantastic Beasts. We weren't really excited for, I feel like we've had enough Harry Potter worlds or whatever, that like I'm not as hyped as like, you know, as some people probably would be for the Fantastic Beast area. And my boyfriend and I were talking about it, and we're like, this land is missing something. It's missing something that like just wows you. I totally forgot that you can go into like the Battle at the Ministry like lobby. I know you can't get on the ride, but you can be in the lobby and you can see all of that. I totally forgot that you could do that without needing the virtual queue. But since we really were like, ugh, whatever, we didn't get the virtual queue, we don't want to go there. I'll save that for next time, I guess. And back to where I was talking about, like we were talking about how like there's something missing, and he's like, honestly, I feel like still Diagon Alley's my favorite like Harry Potter area. Diagon Alley, like there's just something about it. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, it's just because I know like the first time I went to Hogsmeade, like way back when they first opened it, seeing the Hogwarts castle. First time I saw Hogsmeade, I'm like, I can't believe this is real. Like I can't believe this is like actually like a thing. And then I was like a huge Harry Potter fan too. And then when I first saw Diagon Alley, like it's just to this day when I walk into Diagon Alley and I just see the Gringotts Bank and like I see the dragon, I'm just like, to this day I'm just like, that's so cool. I guess like Fantastic Beasts is missing something like that. And so I was like, maybe had they like made the Ministry like this in the center and you go in and you see that, maybe you could get that feeling. Ministry of Magic ride is just like so off in a corner and like nobody was over there. Not my most exciting land, but I did see like a lot of people with their wands and like having fun, like doing all the interactive stuff, and like I think that's cool. I think that's important for like that land, like to have all those interactive things for your wands. Because and same thing with Super Nintendo, where like, girl, you were spending money on those bands and those wands, like this thing, you better be able to work. A lot of people were telling me I needed to try the lavender lemonade at the park, and I was just like, but I kind of want to try that one drink that's blue. You put the little cotton candy and it turns purple. I don't know the name of it, so I wasn't sure. Like I was like, I want to do the lemonade, but I want the little cotton candy thing. So I was like, I'm not even gonna fight. I'm just gonna do the lemonade. And honestly, it was a good move. I'm not a big fan of lemonade. I used to be a huge like lemonade drinker when I was younger. Now I'm just like, but it was really good. It was tart. It was like sweet but tart. and my boyfriend got the strawberry sweet tea, iced tea, whatnot. It was really good. And then the employee in there, super charming, super cool. Like, I loved him. He threatened to not give me my drinks if I stole his quill. He's like, I see you, birthday girl. you take my quill, you're not getting your drinks. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna take your pen. It was so annoying. All I kept thinking about was that meme was like, are you happy to be in Paris? Oui.
Are you happy to be in Paris?
I kept saying that to my boyfriend. I explained to him, like, oh, it's just like, it was like a French lady interviewing somebody, and then somebody edited like Nicki Minaj saying "we" from one of the songs, I think from Moment for Life. The guy that was giving us our drinks at Bar Moonshine, he was like, after he threatened to not give me my drinks if I stole his quill, he was like, oh, so are you having a good day? And I was just like, we. He was like, oh, see, I like that. And I just started cracking up because I'm like, I didn't mean that to come out. I'm so crazy. After that, 6:30 or something, I'm like, okay, let's go ride the Yoshi ride. It is such a kiddie ride, but it's so cute. It's so cute. I recommend to do it at least once. Yeah, on the ride, you have to find the 3 eggs, and they have like a little button. So when you see it, you tap the button. My boyfriend's like, where are you finding all these eggs? Like, where are they? There's one literally on his side that the wizard guy is holding. And I'm like, buddy, it's right next to you. It's right in front of you. What are you talking about? So I'm like, oh, I kind of just want to see Donkey Kong Land or whatever the area. Honestly, I don't even know what that part of the land is called. I just keep seeing all these Donkey Kong things. And I saw that they had single rider land. I'm like, oh, hold on, let's go ride Yoshi and come back. But then when we went back, I said it was at capacity. So I'm like, okay, well, that's another thing I gotta do next time. Donkey Kong, meet Toad, and then try to do the ministry, battle with the ministry at some point. When I was in the Donkey Kong country or whatever, I just was like, I need to get on eBay and buy the drum controllers for the GameCube. Because I have the game, but I don't have the drum controllers. I'm like, I really want to play that game again. So that was my day at Epic Universe. It was honestly really good. I had such a positive experience. I know people are like overhyping it. I personally think the park is still tiny, and like I'm glad that there's still space to add more things. And like, even though I didn't get to do everything, like absolutely everything, I did a good majority of the park, so I can't be mad. I will continue to say it is like one of my favorite parks as of now. The staff's friendly, everyone's like pretty efficient, they're on their A game. Again, things might change like after previews, because I know there's a lot less people go at the park and it's not at capacity. I wouldn't wish that upon them either. Again, I keep emphasizing how efficient it is. I love that. Did I miss anything? Oh, there's this one thing that like kind of stood out to us, and it was that there's a water bottle refill station at every water fountain, even in lines. And that's so amazing. We bought one water bottle and we used that same water bottle for the whole. And thankfully, those water bottle refill stations, the water is not super cold, but it's a little slightly colder than room temperature. Most importantly, the thing that made me happy about it is that it didn't taste like Orlando water. If you know, you know. There's a theory about like what's the next Nintendo thing coming. There's a lot of talk that The Simpsons might get replaced with Pokemon. People are talking about how Link might, like Legend of Zelda and Link are gonna come to Islands of Adventure where the Lost Continent is. I'm like pretty sure the next like Nintendo thing that they're bringing has to be Legend of Zelda, because if you look at the gift shop right next to the Super Nintendo World portal, when you enter it, there's stained glass. And who is it that's on the stained glass? Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf. Okay, that's how you pronounce it. They're coming. Link is coming, okay? And he's gonna come and collect as many sprites, throw his little bomb, use his sword, and he's gonna defeat him and save me. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Link is gonna be the next like Super Nintendo stuff that's gonna come out. I think a lot of people are gonna be like really happy with Epic Universe overall. My advice for Epic Universe: try to pack light, bring sunblock, bring an umbrella, because not only is it good for shade, Florida weather's kind of crazy, and make sure you stay hydrated. And also, make sure you wear comfortable shoes, because you're gonna be walking a lot of steps, baby. So overall, amazing experience. I loved Epic Universe. I really, for real, I can't wait to go back. I left the park and I was like having to stop myself from looking at park tickets again to buy some more. So if you can go. If not, I say it's worth the wait. I don't know what else to say. I feel like this might be a really long video, so it's a lot of yapping, but it's everything I had to say about this wonderful, magnificent park. I'm obsessed with her and I want to go back. If I could live there, I would. Bye, guys.